Hey everyone, welcome to Story Voyage. Today we have something special for you, but funny and awkward moments from first dates. Get ready to laugh because these stories are sure to lift your spirits. Let's get started. Story 1, The Ice Cream Catastrophe. I met Lisa through a dating app. We had been chatting for a few weeks and finally decided to meet in person. We chose a cozy cafe in the city center, known for its incredible desserts. I arrived early to make a good impression and not be late. Lisa looked stunning. We immediately started chatting, and the conversation flowed easily and naturally. We ordered ice cream. I wanted to try the strawberry, and she chose the chocolate. While we waited, the waiter brought us some water, and of course I managed to spill it all over the table. Lisa just laughed and helped me clean it up with napkins. The ice cream arrived. I took the first spoonful and suddenly felt something tickle my nose. I sneezed, and in slow motion, the strawberry ice cream flew straight at Lisa. She ended up with a spot on her blouse and a face full of surprise. I froze, expecting the worst. But Lisa just started laughing. She said it was the best way to test if someone was ready for surprises. We continued our date, laughing about what had happened and sharing our past embarrassing moments. That ice cream incident became the start of a wonderful relationship. Now, we've been married for 3 years, and every time we eat ice cream, we remember our first date with a smile. Story 2, Dancing in the Rain. The meeting with Anton is something I'll remember for the rest of my life. We decided to meet in a park because we both loved nature and walking in the fresh air. The day was sunny and warm, so nothing foretold trouble. We were walking through the park, talking about everything under the sun and enjoying each other's company. Suddenly, the sky darkened and it started to rain heavily. We tried to hide under a tree, but it didn't help much. I looked at Anton, soaked to the skin, and couldn't help but laugh. Seeing my reaction, Anton suggested that we shouldn't be disheartened and start dancing in the rain. He took my hand and began twirling me around to imaginary music. We laughed and spun around, despite the strange looks from passers-by. It was one of those spontaneous and magical moments that you remember for a lifetime. When the rain stopped, we were wet and cold, but happy. We found the nearest cafe to warm up and dry off. Over hot chocolate, we continued our conversation as if nothing had happened. That day marked the beginning of our relationship, full of spontaneous and fun moments. We still joke that our first dance was in the rain, symbolizing our readiness to face any life storms together. Story 3, a picnic date with a surprise. I met Olya through social media, and after exchanging a few messages, we decided to have our first date in a park. She suggested bringing a picnic blanket, which I thought was a great idea. The weather was beautiful that day, and we chose a secluded spot under a large tree. We enjoyed our food and conversations when I noticed that she seemed a little anxious. Soon I found out why. Olya pulled out a huge box of cookies that she had baked herself. She proudly offered me to try one. I took a bite and was amazed at how delicious they were. We started discussing recipes, and Olya mentioned that her grandmother had taught her a secret ingredient, chili pepper. Of course, I didn't know this and kept eating the cookies. Soon, I felt a slight burning sensation but decided not to show it. Suddenly, I noticed that Olya was clearly anxious and couldn't hide her smile. She confessed that she had added a little chili pepper to make the meeting more spicy. We both laughed, and it became a great start to discussing culinary experiments. After that, we went for a walk in the park and continued chatting, laughing about the situation. Our first date turned out to be unique and fun, and since then we often cook together, checking to make sure we haven't accidentally added chili pepper again. Story 4, The Aquapark Adventure. I met Nika at a party and decided that our first date should be something unusual. I suggested visiting an aquapark since it's a place where you can have fun and not worry about awkward moments. Nika agreed, and we met at the entrance. When we entered the aquapark, we decided to try all the slides and attractions. At one point, I suggested competing on the longest and most thrilling slide. We stood in line, and as soon as we went down, I felt my inflatable ring starting to lose air. We tried to manage the situation, but it kept getting smaller and smaller. When it was time for our next slide, the inflatable ring was completely deflated, and I found myself in a situation where I had to hold Nika's hand and jump into the water without it. We both fell into the pool, but what was even more embarrassing was that everyone around us started laughing, seeing our water disaster. We both got out of the water, covered in foam and embarrassed, but we couldn't stop laughing. Nika suggested that we take advantage of the moment and continue the day without worrying about the mishap. In the end, we had an amazing day, enjoying other attractions and laughing about how we turned our first aquapark date into a real adventure. That day marked the beginning of fun and spontaneous dates, and we still fondly remember how our inflatable ring became the hero of our first date. Thanks for joining us on Story Voyage. We hope you enjoyed these funny first date stories. If you have your own hilarious moments, be sure to share them in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. See you next time.